Hey everyone, how is everyone doing today? Give me a hello if you can hear me. Hey Sheena, how are things? How's everyone doing? Hey there, haven't seen you in a while, girl. All right, so today I'm going to get right into it. I know I'm a few minutes late, so I apologize for that. I am doing amazing right now. I just actually did, I just came out of my meditation that I do with a group of people that are part of my purpose-driven tribe on my Facebook group. So if you guys are interested in joining me, I do it every Wednesday for about half an hour or so. So that's why I ran a little bit late, because we were just talking about how great we feel and how nice it is to be kind of centered, and to, basically center your body and feel at peace. So today is video 3, which is all about bringing pain to passion. And this is basically a series that I'm doing on how to get out of this chaotic times and turn all of this turmoil into something useful and fruitful for you and your life. So hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me on this. And today in particular, the topic of the day is how to rise by finding the pleasures in life and finding the things that we can be grateful for. So that's what the topic is today, because there's so many things that are going on, but through the midst of all of that, we can still feel grateful and find the things that are still positive in ourselves and in our lives, right? It's not all horrible. There are actually good things, like good people, good elements, good food, good things like that, good hugs from the people that you might be quarantining with. So there are positive things that you can do. And as we know, because the shit has hit the fan, you have two options. You can either go and lick your wounds and then go back to whatever sense of normal you had before, or you can actually create a better life. Figure out yourself now so that you can do better and more great things, right, after all this is over. So that's what we're going to talk about today. How to bring pleasure and, gratefulness and all those beautiful things back into our lives after all this chaos is over. So many of you have had trying times or life decisions that have come up, and we all have, right? Like, for example, maybe you were laid off because of all this, or maybe you had to quit your job. Maybe other things have happened, like maybe you had to get married, or maybe you had a divorce, or maybe you're having children, or maybe you're an empty nester and all your kids are actually leaving the roost, or leaving the house, so to speak. Or even maybe you have to move to a completely different state because of everything that's happening. So there are a lot of things that can happen, and some of our everyday decisions have a huge impact, right? And even through these decisions, sorry guys. Through these decisions and moments, we can have, these big changes happen, but we can still find the good moments that sort of take us through it all. So this reminds me of an interview that I did with a woman. Her name was Elizabeth. Her stage name was Elizabeth, her actor name, who was a prime example of someone who was able to take a horrible thing, a horrible story, and shift it and pivot it to be something really amazing for her and her family. So basically what happened with Elizabeth is that she was blindsided by her husband, who ultimately asked for a divorce. Now, she'd been the primary breadwinner for quite a while. She was in the legal area of work. She worked for a big corporation. So she was, doing really well for herself, had a really high position, was making really good money. But then she's, decided to have children. And so ultimately she decided to raise her kids and got out of the workforce. What happened was that in doing that, in sort of, leaving work and going home and taking care of the kids, it's kind of like she lost herself in the process. And also she kind of became unaware, right? She didn't see the things that were happening, the signs that were actually happening, because she was so focused on just raising her kids. And there's nothing wrong with that aspect. But, she kind of lost herself in the process is what happened. So when he asked for the divorce, she had to make a big decision to leave with some dignity on her own terms. So what she did was, with her 2 kids, and obviously her being a stay-at-home mom, she didn't have a penny to her name, because at that point he'd done so many things that he basically took all the money and she was left with nothing. So he robbed her of all the assets. What she basically did is that she chose a day to pack up the kids, a day that he wasn't going to be around. And she took all the kids and however clothes she had on her back, and she told the kids to pack up little suitcases for themselves, and she left. So instead of him having full control, she actually took the bit of dignity she still had left and decided to leave with the little backpacks, and she decided to recreate her life. So with that, I will pause and say hello. Hey, what's up, Michael? Hey, Natal. Hey, Keisha. So I'm basically talking about a story of a woman who had incredible resilience and had been asked for a divorce by her husband through a really terrible situation. He basically liquidated all of their assets. She had no money, nothing, and he basically was going to divorce her and leave her destitute in a way. So her journey to recovery, her journey to recovery would take a few years, but what happened was, and this is where the pleasure and the gratefulness and all that comes in, is that she realized what strength she still had inside her. That even though she didn't have the money, even though she no longer had the home, and even though he robbed her a little bit of her dignity as well with the way that he processed and he, asked for the divorce and how horrible it was, she still had her heart, she still had her strengths and her skills and her kids. Like there were still things to be grateful for amidst all this chaotic times and all this chaotic moment that she was experiencing. And so she remembered her strengths, she remembered her resilience and her resourcefulness. And the thing about resourcefulness is that it's not just about, ingenuity, like, let me be smart and be resourceful. It's about how you change your state of mind. It starts with your state, with your emotions and, where your focus is, rather than, you kind of going out and reading a book. Because resourcefulness comes from the inside. It's an inside job. You can actually bring out resourcefulness just by changing your state of operating, so to speak. So because she still had that in her, she became super resourceful, and she knew she was a resilient woman. And of course she was super smart. She obviously she was a top executive before all of this happened, but it helped her come back to her senses that I have a lot of things going on, right? Like I am actually a really powerful woman, and this isn't going to bring me down. So it helped her pick herself back up again by being grateful and realizing the things that she did have inside of her. Does that make sense? You guys with me so far? There are ways to get through things like this. So she remembered who she truly was. And that's what I want you all to start thinking about. Like, what are you grateful for? What are you really good at? What skills do you have? What strengths do you have? What have you been resilient with in the past? What has helped you overcome things in the past that maybe you can use now? Who can you talk to? Who can you connect with? What people have been there for you? Things like that you still have around you. These are part of your pleasures, part of your, sort of community of things and people that can still keep you afloat amidst all this chaotic times. Make sense? So, and of course she still had her kids, right? She still had her 2 kids to take care of amidst this divorce, who she basically ran off with and to start another life. So she in a way woke up to her blessings, if you will, because it wasn't over till the fat lady sings, if you know what I mean. And she woke up to her blessings and her power, and it basically she made herself a little bit more aware now, more conscious, more connected and focused to the things that really mattered, which in the end were things that you already fostered in yourself, that you still have in yourself and you've always had, right? And it was such an impactful experience, her transitioning from this horrible divorce to this big realization, that she actually decided to become a coach. Hey, Felicia. You should hear the story, Felicia. This is going to be a really good one for you. And so she decided to become a coach because of this situation, because nothing was going to bring her down. And now that she was actually bringing herself back up, she felt like she could inspire other people to do the same. I mean, isn't that an amazing, amazing situation? She went from like being a top executive to being completely destitute and running with, with her 2 kids with very, very little money, to basically starting over from scratch and building herself back up again, to becoming a coach and helping so many other women through their experiences. And she calls it, she basically became a coach and is helping other former wives who want to make epic comebacks. And talk about epic, right? Like, we're having epic times right now. So making an epic comeback is totally in line with what's happening right now. Right, Felicia? Yeah, exactly. You should re-listen to the story from the beginning. So the thing is that each of our struggles we experience can unknowingly at the time serve us as we become stronger. Because had she stayed where she was doing what she was doing, I mean, that was a slippery slope that was basically going nowhere, and she was becoming unconscious and unaware and just going with the motions and not really growing. But because this situation became a huge catalyst, she reconnected to her great, the things that she's grateful for, and the principal ones being her own inner strengths and her own inner resilience and her own ability to get through anything, guys. You have the power, you have the tools, you have the strengths, you have everything you need to actually be resilient and get through these times, no matter what's going on. So we can become stronger through these horrible experiences, and get through these things by kind of divorcing our old mindsets about how things are supposed to be. Please send me the link so I can watch it. Yep, I will. The link will be here actually once this is done. It's going to be part of IGTV for 24 hours. So you'll be able to re-listen to it. Okay, so the way we can do this is by starting to think about our pleasures, right? Our things that we're grateful for, things that we're happy about, things that we have in our lives that are going on right now that actually bring us joy, and that we can reconnect with, and that form the foundation for who we really are, because we aren't our experiences. And I mentioned this in the last video about what being happy means. And there's a movie that you can find. It's called it's actually called Happy, and it talks about how only 40% of our level of happiness is actually based on our experiences, and then I think 10% is our DNA, and then like more than 50+%, I can't remember the exact number, is actually us. Like, we are able to switch our complete environment and our way of thinking and actually be happy by what we do and what states that we are actually in. So it's absolutely possible to do that. So, and you can start doing that by, again, finding the things to be grateful for, finding the things that you can reconnect with within yourself, and finding those positive things that are still happening, that are a part of your life right now. So for Elizabeth, those things that she went through even became something that fueled her fire. So even think about that. The fact that she went through this crazy experience, that her husband did this horrible thing to her, is actually a benefit to her, because it actually flipped her life completely around, and it allowed her to then not become a coach and inspire other people to make their own epic comebacks. And that in itself is such a healing thing, to be able to help someone through the experiences that you yourself have had is powerful, is so powerful. So sometimes our struggles can absolutely be our biggest assets. So if you can think about what we are experiencing right now, what positive things can we gain from what's happening at the moment? Hey, Edie. If y'all have any questions, let me know as I go through this. And so this can actually be the driver of our purpose, right? All the things that happen and how we use it and how we can reclaim, because it's already in there, right? What we have to do is kind of reclaim our strengths and reclaim our ability to be resilient and, and be resourceful and all these beautiful things. We just have to find the positives and the good things and the things we already have inside that are actually still working for us and are still there. They never went away. They were just kind of buried a little bit. And there are so many examples of people who have gone through tragedies and have gone through experiences that have been devastating, and how they've actually turned their lives around as well. And there's so many experiences, but I want you to consider this as you recall your own stories and, your own deeper struggles and experiences. And especially now that we're going through this chaotic and epic time. I like using that word epic because never in my life have I ever thought that we'd all be experiencing this kind of situation. Nobody thought, right? So how can we actually use this and find the positives to paint a different story of, instead of victimhood, a story of triumph over adversity? What does that story look like for you when you look at it from a pleasure principle, from a pleasurable perspective of like, what is actually working for me? What skills can I use? How can I change that story for myself? So that's the question that I'm going to leave you all with. So let me know if you like this story. I'm going to do another one in 2 days. And, we're going to keep the movement and momentum going because I really want to inspire you all to make your epic comeback and realize that anything that happens to you can actually be a huge asset in your personal life. So let me know, Felicia, Edie, Natael, Keisha, whoever is on right now. Unfortunately, I can't see who actually is on. But I hope that you guys enjoyed the story. And if you have any questions, let me know. Now, next week, we're going to talk about how to convert the chaos into a positive story and a positive thing. So we're going to talk about that in more detail next week. Today was an example of finding the pleasure in it and finding the connection with it. So next week is going to be about how to convert it. Yeah, Michael, thanks for joining. Okay, so if you missed the first 2 videos, you can go to my website, purposedrivenrevolution.com, and sign up for the video so you can have all of them. This video is only going to be up for 24 hours, so definitely sign up for the entire series so that you can get sort of the full, order and the full connection between all the different stories and all the different ways that you can connect to your strengths and find deeper purpose. You're having trouble sleeping. I'm sorry to hear that, Edie. I know a lot of people are actually having trouble sleeping right now. So, in fact, it's so funny as I just came from doing a meditation with my group. We just did a grounding meditation that helps you sleep. So if you guys are interested in getting that meditation, let me know and I can inbox it to you as a freebie as well. I've been doing a lot of really interesting energy and meditative work to relax people's bodies through all of this sort of anxiety and chaos and feeling of anxiousness and panic that people are experiencing. So I'd love to assist you in any way that I can. Okay? Yeah, Edie. So basically grounding your energy and meditating and sort of bringing your energy, bringing good light in and sort of grounding and releasing any excess energy that's not allowing you to sleep is going to really help with that. So I'll send you, inbox me, send me a DM and remind me to send it to you. All right. Thanks, Keisha. All right. So thank you all for joining. I hope you liked the story. I will see you in 2 days. Again, if you haven't seen the first few videos, this one is only up for 24 hours. So go on purposedrivenrevolution.com and sign up for the videos. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any other questions, let me know. And I will see you all in 2 days. See you on the purposeful side. Bye.